Hey everyone, we're here with the Operations Manager Kathryn and a 21-year-old leopard named Armani. And I apologize for the shakiness, but my stabilizer will not grab hold of the phone. So I'm going to try and keep it as steady as I possibly can here. This is just a snack for Armani. She had her regular meal in the morning. Can you tell people what it's like to feed 60 cats every day?
It is quite a challenge, but we have some wonderful volunteers that come out first thing in the morning and get everybody fed. And so it takes about an hour to an hour and a half, and we have 4 different routes that go out. So everybody takes their own route and is responsible for their own set of cats to feed. I know. You would think that she has not eaten today because she is very excited about snacks. But she's got about 3.5, 4 pounds this morning already.
And you were telling me she got a blood sickle treat.
And she just got a sickle, right? They just came by to do afternoon sickles, and so she got a sickle already also.
Can you tell everybody what sickles are?
So sickles are what we call basically a popsicle for the cats. And so when we thaw out all the meat, we go through about 300 to 500 pounds of meat a day. And the red meat in particular lets off a lot of blood when it thaws. So we mix the blood with water and then freeze it, and you get what we affectionately call a blood sickle. And so then it's basically a popsicle made out of blood. And then we do some other flavors too. We will do like a tuna flavor and a sardine flavor. And that's basically what it sounds like. We mix tuna with water in a blender and then freeze that. And then we mix sardines in a blender with water, as gross as that sounds, and freeze that. And we tend to call the sardines sardini martinis.
I love that.
And the cats really like the sardines one. I think the worse it smells, the more they're excited about it. I know.
And it's not just for treats for some of these older cats.
It's not. We try to make sure that they get as much fluid as they can during the day. Just like with your house cat, when they get older, a lot of them have kidney issues, and so we want to make sure they get a lot of moisture. And so while they're drinking water, the sickle provides a little bit extra moisture for them. I know.
Those are so yummy.
So yummy. And she's actually getting chicken breasts today. That's her snack for today. You're all right.
What you guys are about to witness is the difference between 2 different leopards. She is thought to be either an Asian or African leopard, and you can see she's got a very short coat. The next leopard you're going to see is an Amur leopard, and she has a very, well, not very, but she has a longer coat. And she has an air conditioner just because it could be a little too warm for her here in Florida.
All right, we're going to switch over to Nat, okay? I know, you want all the snacks for you. All the snacks for Armani. All right, let's go see what Nat's doing.
Our smaller enclosures here for bobcats and servals start at about 1,200 square feet, and the larger ones for like lions and tigers start at 1,800 square feet. I think Natalia here's probably got like 3 of those hooked together, so she's probably got between 3,600 and 4,000 square feet. And Armani, who we just saw, actually only has 1, so it's about 1,200 square feet, but we're getting ready to open up another section that'll double that space for her.
All the snacks.
You can stick your whole muzzle through
that
that hole.
Muzzle through the 4x4.
Yeah, I missed the question, but I saw the answer. It does cost about $10,000 per cat for lions and tigers to take care of them for a year. And that's just the direct cost. That's not any of the overhead of the sanctuary.
Super distracted, ma'am.
So a cat like her would be about $7,500 to care for. You're so pretty.
She's so fuzzy.
Because she's fluffy, she looks like a kitten.
She does. Nikki Lion lives right over next to her, and she gets super distracted wondering where Nikki is. That's what she's looking at when she's looking behind her over there. She always likes to know where Nikki is.
I think I'm going to go to the other side so that we see her face every time she turns around instead of the back of her head.
He is like super distracted with Miss Nick. I know, there's chicken here.
Is this a new thing because of leaves dropping off the bushes, you think?
I think we did a fair amount of cleaning out over there so she can see her a little bit better. I think it's mostly in the morning when Nikki's vocalizing a lot and is up here to eat. She catches sight of her a lot more.
She can't reach you.
What do you look at? No, she's not back there.
Those are squirrels.
Yeah, you're all right. You're all right. But she tends to be a nervous cat. She paces when she's nervous, and she tends to always want to know what everybody else is doing everywhere else. So she is a bit of a nervous cat. But considering she's only been here a year, it might take her a little while to figure out what all the noises are.
Sometimes it can take a long time. I think the longest I ever saw a cat take was 5 years. And the day that cat finally came around, I just broke down crying. It was a bobcat.
All right, pretty. I know. Lots of noises. I know.
I think that was the sound of a pig.
Yep.
There's a pig farm next door.
So yeah, so she's still a bit of a nervous Nelly. And then she went through a little bit of a time when she'd hurt her back, and we were having to put her in a smaller enclosure for a little bit, and so she's had her trials this year. Yeah, she's had her trials this year. So
I like to have all the space, not little space.
I think she will get used to it, and I will be very excited to see her finally relax. She always seems like a very nervous cat. Good girl. It's a good girl, princess.
Yeah, the cats are fed a raw diet because when you cook the diet, it cooks all of the nutrients out of it. And they wouldn't eat it if you did.
Yeah,
it's just not natural for them.
You biting the plant? Don't bite the plant. Don't bite the plant. Girl, I love her big whiskers. That fuzzy face and those whiskers are always so cute.
And I can just barely see the tip of her tail that keeps twitching with every bite. It's precious. It's like a snake back there on its own.
It is.
I forgot to look at her age when I came over here, but I'm thinking she's in her
16?
low teens. Oh,
16,
really?
yeah, I believe.
You're getting older there. If you multiply 16 times 6, it's roughly what she would be the human equivalent of.
Hi, Drooly girl. Little nose.
I was watching one of the Christmas videos of Armani playing with her scented enrichment, and boy, she was foaming at the mouth like she was rabid. It was like, oh my gosh, we're going to get so many questions about that. I think she was just so excited.
She does. She gets really excited for the Christmas trees in particular, and she bites at them, and so I think some of that is why she was foaming. Hey, pretty.
Did you see the video of the squirrels getting their first Christmas trees from Jamie?
I did not. That sounds adorable, though.
That was precious.
It does sound very cute. Nat, nat. Good girl.
Most of our cats have been rescued from either being pets or the biggest reason that they end up being discarded is because people will pay to have their pictures made with the cubs. And by the time they're about 12 weeks old, they can take the finger off of a small child, so that makes them more of a liability than an asset. So the people who do that will typically just give them away to people as pets, but it's mostly lions and tigers that are used that way. And then when that cat's a year old and it's 200 pounds, people can't deal with it any longer, and they're calling, looking for a place for that cat to go. But in Natalia's case, she was actually born and raised in a zoo. And we don't usually take animals from zoos because we don't want to be a dumping ground. We don't let people dump animals here and then just go out and buy and breed more. But this particular zoo was doing a really good thing by renovating their cat enclosures and giving the cats a lot more space, but that meant they couldn't have as many cats. And so they were going to only keep the cats that were native because that was more of an educational opportunity for them. And they sent the leopards and jaguars and tigers
Oh my goodness.
off to other facilities.
Oh my goodness. First you're ignoring me, now I'm getting hurry up.
Mellis wants to know where you get your meat. Do you know?
I do. So we have a couple different places that we order meat through. Colorado Box Beef is actually where we get our red meat. And then Purveyors, which is a restaurant supply place as well, is where we get our chicken from.
And then twice a week the cats get whole rats and whole rabbits that arrive frozen. And no, these are not vegan treats.
These are not vegan treats. No.
A lot of our people are vegetarians and vegans.
Well, yeah, a lot of us are, yes. But the kitties need meat.
I think one of the biggest reasons for that is that years ago I was asking our vet why it is that cats die from cancer so much. And she was saying it was from all the hormones and antibiotics that's in their food. And they're obligate carnivores. They have to eat meat. Whereas as humans, we can choose to find other ways of consuming our protein that don't involve eating all those hormones and antibiotics. So that's why an awful lot of us have seen the results of eating a meat diet and decided that we'd rather live longer and healthier.
Oops.
I know, it touched the ground.
Gosh, I got the leaves off of it. You're all right.
Yeah, I missed another question, but it looks like the answer was 100% of your donations goes to the cats. And the reason for that is we do tours of the sanctuary and we have a gift shop. So those things earn enough revenue to pay all of the overhead, which means anytime you make a donation, 100% of your donation can actually go to the cats and not to salaries and administrative costs.
All right, pretty. I think we're done.
Done?
I think we're done. You
One
got,
last shiz for everybody?
you got yours
Showing
and
how
some
appreciative
of our
you are. All right. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Kathryn.